If you can hear this, you're in the right place. I'm Warren Martineck, and this is the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ian Taylor, and you are listening to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast, your weekly digest of hobby goodness, brought to you by the Marvel Cards Fan Collective, an awesome community of card collectors and creators. You can find our two groups on Facebook. Details are at the end of this podcast, so come check us out. With me, as always, is my co-pilot on all things Marvel cards. When most people say, beware the moon, and someone gets hairy, he starts hairy and gets smooth. It's Norrin Rad.
Pretty good.
That wasn't bad. That was my kind of Egyptian god Moon Knight kind of voice.
It was great. Emily saw me howling, opened my door, looked at me, and said, "God, you need attention." She's not wrong.
For a minute there, I misheard you and thought she said, "You need an injection," it's kind of like the men outside with the ambulance and the stretcher.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Styling. Yeah. One flew.
I don't want to say I've never seen the inside of a straitjacket because it would be a bold-faced lie. So what's happening, buddy?
Speaking of which, well, plenty. Zero. I'm going to be honest with the listeners now. Zero prep for this episode, so this is very much winging it, and often they're the best ones anyway. But
that is true.
That's really hurt my throat doing that intro. I want to talk about your mum. Now, okay. I don't want that to come across as any sort of an insult, because I know that often in America, when
my dad's a jealous man. Okay, so let's calm down.
But can I just say, so you went on. Tell the story. What?
Okay.
Did you do this week? It was hilarious.
She thought you were very nice, by the way, when she went to the comments. So she was very, very, very sweet about that. Oh. But so basically, my poor mother has. So she's not like on social media kind of stuff, but she kept seeing that I was going live because a friend of hers is on social media. She goes, "So your son's going on social media talking about cars." She's like, "What?" So she's been dropping in periodically. And yesterday I opened up some Marvel Legend packs because I couldn't help myself.
Oh, they look nice.
Time, so I'm happy to talk about those and show some cards. I have extras, Ian. So I have to send you a care package.
We'll talk about those definitely, but
definitely. But so basically, I was doing the opening, having a good time. Mom came on the comments, and I was like, "Hey, Mom," and I always say hi. And she requested to join accidentally, and I couldn't, and I could not help myself but accept and get her on my Instagram, and there she was. And Gingy had popped in a little bit earlier. So Gingy and I were talking, and so then she pops on and she's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I did this. I'm so sorry." I was like, "It's okay, hang out for a bit." And she did. So we opened up cards together. She told a couple very embarrassing stories, which was always fun. Gingy didn't know what to do, make heads or tails of it, because we were being ridiculous. And it was a good time. It was a good time indeed.
Oh, mate. Well, see, I saw you, because you posted that you got the packs, the Marvel Legends promo packs that you get from GameStop, I believe, and they come with the Marvel Legends figures. So we'll talk about those in a moment. But you said that you got lucky and you got some of these packs, and you said you were going to go live. So I was like, all right, well, it's evening for me. My wife's around. We've just put my daughter down. I can't usually watch stuff out loud on my phone because my wife and I are in the same room. And she's like, off, quite frankly. So I snuck into the bathroom downstairs, and I saw that you'd gone live, and I went in there. I was like, "Who's that on with Norrin?" I could see Gingy, and I thought, "Oh, mate, maybe that's I don't know who it is." So I was just intrigued. So I turned the volume up. Then it became very apparent that it was your mum, and I think it was kind of towards the end of her being on, because she dropped off shortly thereafter. But I've yet to go back and watch the whole thing, and I will do so at some stage this week during my work, because I can kind of have it on, in the corner of my eye and watch it. So the rewind. tell us about your journey to get those GameStop packs, because they're kind of
okay.
I think some people have trouble getting them, and not everyone understands how you get them.
They're really stupid in terms of trying to, because you're dealing with GameStop employees. Now, I will say this is not all GameStops. We're not endorsed by GameStop. We're not sponsored by GameStop. But I'm going to be very honest with my response to the whole GameStop situation. It's really sad when someone has to go into a GameStop and explain what these things are when they're meant to be a promotional item, as in they are supposed to be advertised, as a great benefit and plus to getting the action figures.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to ever find an employee who knows what these are. Most of the time I have to direct them to where they are, because I've gone to look for them multiple times, and they're not on the shelf. They're behind the computer in a drawer. And I always have to tell them that, because they always look at me blankly like I'm crazy. Now, side note, side note, I did see the Panini magazines and packs with the black border at GameStop. Do
you mean Marvel Versus?
No, the Panini thing, the booklet. Remember the thing we did, the packets, the Panini stuff. I'm saying it right.
Yeah. Oh, do you mean Marvel 80th?
Yes.
Yeah, Marvel 80th was last year's set. Yeah, that's right.
Right. It says, yeah, that's right. It's not like, right. Got it. So they have like a little stand there now with packs, and you can pick up the magazine.
Oh,
so
cool.
Marvel cards are in fact indeed moving into retail shops.
Marvel
so it's pretty cool.
That is in America.
Marvel stickers, which is pretty cool, which is usually not the case. So, so those are there. Anyway, so I went to a GameStop, asked him about these gorgeous Marvel Legends packs. These cards that are designed by our buddy, by the way. It was the first set designed by Dangerfield.
Oh, Dangerfield, who is one of the product managers. We've never had him on the show, and we never will, possibly. I don't know, but he's left Upper Deck now. Anyway, he was there for about a year. But yeah. So the GameStop packs of the packs of cards. The idea is you're supposed to buy an action figure to get one of these packs. That's the gist. But a lot of people find that GameStop employees will quite happily either give them or sell them to them and just like make up a figure and put it through the till.
Wait a minute, Dan. It's Dan, right? I don't know why I said Dangerfield.
No, Dangerfield's his full name, but Dane is what he kind of goes by.
Got it. That's what I thought. Okay, I was just nervous that I was giving credit to a totally different person.
Yeah,
he's amazing. I'm a huge fan.
Lovely guy.
Have a huge, love affair going on with him. Hopefully his wife knows, and
he's got lovely,
or doesn't. Whatever it floats your boat.
Can I just say? I mean, I know we never got to have him on the show. He was working. He was kind of a newer Matt Rogers, if you like. So Upper Deck Matt, as people will remember.
Yes, very much an architect of the cards, all this kind of stuff, layout stuff.
And he was on Grant Sandground's team. And people who are listening to this would have heard Grant Sandground on last week's episode, who will know that he is the legend, the mad professor. I'm not going to go too much into that this week, simply because I haven't yet re-listened to the edit fully.
Me neither.
And there was so much information in it that I'm sure we will kind of do a post-match analysis on that.
We have to.
But yeah, anyway, but Dangerfield was on Grant's team. Dangerfield has now, I believe, moved on from Upper Deck, but he designed these Marvel Legends promo cards that you got. So you went in there, you spoke to the fella, went in there. I was like, look, I'm looking for these Marvel Legend packs. Usually I'm behind the desk. There was 4 employees there. They're all chattering about trying to figure this out. The manager's there, says, hey, yes, those do exist. They do exist. The promotion ended, so we're just giving them away. Right. Okay, good.
And I was like, wow, okay, that's phenomenal. And they said, yeah, we have like these 7 or 8 and wave. So there's 4 waves to this card set, Marvel Legends. Wave 1, 2, 3, and 4.
2 came out first, didn't it?
2 came out first. I think something weird like that. It came out of order. Yeah, it was very confusing. Then wave 1, then wave 3, and now wave 4. And wave 4 is special. And again, these cards will be everywhere. So this doesn't need to be a like, oh my God, let me buy them all type of thing.
Out for a while.
They've been out for a while. They're out everywhere. They're literally just like a fun thing to collect. So please don't think this is not a pump and any kind of dump type of thing, because I don't have them, and B, they'll be everywhere. But they do have the Fantastic Four series characters in Wave 4, and Wave 4 has Silver Surfer.
Yay! He's back, baby.
Dr. Doom, Invisible Woman, Human Torch, Mr. Fantastic. And I have the checklist here. She-Hulk's in there as well. The Watcher, Black Bolt, Galactus, who's been gone for a while. Ego, the Living Planet, who's been around. He was just in 2020. Psycho Man, Alicia Masters, which is pretty cool.
Hang on.
Ronan the Accuser.
Psycho Man.
Psycho Man. He's like this green looking guy.
And who's Alicia Masters? Sorry, I've never heard
Alicia
of these
Masters. Alicia Masters is actually really cool. She's in Fantastic Four, and she was integral to a lot of the plot lines. She's actually blind, and what she's able to do later on is that she's able to sculpt these very realistic sculptures of superheroes and like have these kind of like abilities to manifest things, psychic links. She ends up marrying the Thing, but she also ends up being the person who kind of
sure my wife
helps you Surfer. Yeah, helps Surfer find his helps Surfer find his kind of humanity in when Galactus comes over. Ronan the Accuser, which we saw in Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. Medusa is also in here. But it's really cool. The cards are beautiful. They on the front feature the character. They have a little window display type of thing. It's not die cut, but the design has this little window where they feature the character. And on the right hand side, they feature the cohort of characters that the wave is based on. So Wave 4 has all 4 of the Fantastic Four characters. Wave 3 has all of Iron Man because it is the Iron Man set. Wave 2 is villains. So it has Ultron, Thanos, Green Goblin, and Magneto. And then Wave 1 is the X-Men. So we have Wolverine, Jean Grey, Colossus, I believe, and Apocalypse.
Oh, wow. Okay. This is good. And am I right in thinking that how many per wave?
So per wave you have 15.
Okay. And there's a parallel.
And it goes all the way up to 60. And there's a parallel. So in each pack,
consecutive numbers, right? Okay.
Exactly. In each pack, you get 4 cards. The first 3 are regular base cards, right? Random. And the last card is the foil.
Ooh.
And the foil is really special. So behind the character only, not the whole card, is the rainbow kind of foil thing over this purple image. And it's quite wonderful, quite well done, and looks super clean, man. For something that's a promotional piece, it's a very nice, like if this was a set, I would buy this set because I just think it's that pretty. Yeah. It's just very well done. I'm very happy with the way it looks.
Cool.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. So it's very cool looking. Here, I'll put it on light here to show Ian, and then we'll have this on the tasting notes.
Oh, yeah. I'll
make pictures.
We'll flood you with pics. Yes, definitely.
We'll flood you with pics.
And you can see them being opened on Norrin's feed because you've said,
you guys can see
nice. That. Oh, that's nice. Now, I've got to ask a question then. So on the Wave 4, so that little character kind of column, for want of a better word, is Surfer in that column?
No, just the Fantastic Four characters.
Okay. Well, that's good because that means you don't have to have one copy of every single card.
See, and this is why you talk to people who are also character collectors.
Yes.
Because they get it.
Yes.
Insanity is deep.
Yes. Oh, my goodness.
But I also got something else in Character Club that also comes with toys because we can make this card toy extravaganza. Mm-hmm. These are the Marvel Legends Showdown cards.
Oh, yes. Now they're older. They've got the old Upper Deck logo. They're from the noughties.
Yes, they got the when the internet and EPAC. It wasn't EPAC. It was called electronic something.
Yeah, it was
or whatever.
way before. We're talking 2007, 2008.
Yeah. So this is right when integrating cards and digital stuff. I mean, a new Batman card series came out that is the first, I think, non-sport to have an NFT attached to something. Okay. So, we're getting into that kind of wave of the world again.
But the Marvel Legends Showdown stuff, we're going back 15 years or so, yeah?
Yeah, and these would come with an action figure. Now, you wouldn't get all 6 of your character with the action figure of your choice. It would be random. And you would get 1 big card and a certain amount of other cards. I forget now.
It's like a game thing, isn't it? Yeah, and you get
it was. It's like a little game thing.
Yeah.
So there's like 6 per character. Well. Yes, and then there's oversized square ones, and there's 6 cards for each character.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen any Black Cat. I bought a lot.
I know what she's
Not
on.
a lot, but a lot. Yeah, and I bought a lot on eBay, which was expensive, but I was missing a surfer, so I have 6 of them now. But the other ladies and gentlemen we are friends with were missing some characters too, so I was able to grab them their characters and figure that out for them. But yeah, so no Black Cat, unfortunately. I don't know why. I don't know if she has like a full thing. I think she just has the 1 or 2 oversized.
I'll tell you. Yeah. So basically, she's on one of the oversized. So I don't fully understand the numbering, but one of the oversized square ones, card P28, has her on in a kind of a load of other characters. So she's there as a small kind of in the background kind of thing. And one of the guys on group about 6, 8, 7 months ago posted a picture of it. So I've got a picture of it. I know what card, and often you don't even have that if you're a character.
No, never. You
hear about something that's a bit obscure like that. You just don't have it. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, they're cool. They look really good. And I've found a couple of online blogs that talk about the game, and they talk about the design of them from 10, 12, 15 years back. So they've been and gone, basically. They were the kind of you've heard of the 90s Toy Biz like cards being with the
exactly
figures. It's kind of that, but in the noughties, the Marvel Legends.
Yeah, I mean that's what I categorize them as. Yeah. Like, I mean, I put them as like cards that come with products for the character collection. Right. So like you have the Purdue chicken thing, you have cereal stuff. Yeah. You have, other things that were promotional items like the X-Men cards with the VHSs. Remember those? Those
the Pizza Hut ones. Yeah.
Yeah, the Pizza Hut ones. Yeah.
And then there's the what is it? My brain's gone black. There was a set of 4 holograms that came with tinned spaghetti. There was a tinned pasta.
Oh, wow. I forgot about those.
What's that called? I can't remember the name of it.
I actually don't know. I don't remember.
I was just looking at it because there's a guy on eBay who's got one of the adverts for them. So I'm just scrolling down. I've got his listings open because I was just sending some stuff over to guys because he's got the most random stuff listed. I will get to it, but yeah, there's loads of things like that. So I guess the GameStop cards are kind of like the modern equivalent, although you don't have to, they're not sealed with the figure. They're a pack that's given away, but only through that outlet, and only it's supposed to be only when you buy the figures. But even when the figures even when the promotion was running, people were being able to buy one figure and get extras and things like that. I think it very much depended on the employee that you were speaking to. And it's absolutely crazy, but people have been gone for them. I mean, I've classed them very much as a promo thing. Here we go, Chef Boyardee. That's the tin pasta. Oh,
Chef Boyardee. That's right. I was like, I'm pretty sure that name. I would know that name in my head.
Yeah. I'm sure your mum probably fed you quite a lot of it when you were a week.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Chef Boyardee. Oh gosh, so many different horrible food things that I should not have been eating.
That actually, made you the man you are today.
Made me into the man I am today.
Yes. Well, that's exciting. I'm relieved that Black Cat isn't in it because, quite frankly, enough already because I know what's coming. Oh, I know what's coming. I think it's been bad so far. Yeah. I know what's about to hit. I know.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be bad, man.
It's going to hurt.
It's going to be stupid bad.
And on a kind of slightly serious note, I've not a serious note. I mean, it's cards, for goodness sake. It's not kidneys or war. I'm at the point now where I've got to decide: do I even attempt a set build for something like because I'm a Spidey, but I've made a decision that I'm going to offload some more of my sets, and I'm just going to. I've made a list of sets that I'm keeping, and sets that I want to complete.
Smart.
And that's kind of it. I mean, it's still a large number relatively, but I'm having to be really strict. So I'm dropping Marvel Annual. I'm also and people know how much, regular listeners will know how much I love Marvel Beginnings, but I'm dropping it. I'm dropping it because, quite frankly, I've enjoyed it and I love it. And I love it. But I'm not going to be on board for the ride of set build for the next lot. And
no, man, like you can't.
It's too much. It's just too much.
It's too much.
Especially in this market. So I'm going to offload the ones I've got, but masterpieces I'll always keep. Flair, 94, 95, 2019. I'll carry on working on those and finishing them because they're just really satisfying sets. But I'm going to go for and keep the Spider-Man set. So Spider-Man 94, Fleer Ultra Spider-Man.
I love that set. Both of those are great.
Spider-Man 97, Spider-Man Archives, Fleer Ultra Spider-Man 2017, but not the crazy stuff, just the regular set, which I've got all of those.
I think the regular set is gorgeous.
The art box film cards from 2002.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Right, baby.
They're really nice.
They're stunning.
And a few of the other little Spidey sets. And to add to that, I'd love just to get the set Spidey Metal. But I realistically, just looking at how it's going to, what's coming up with it and how it's going to be, I just don't know how doable that's going to be. I mean, I'm certainly not going to be able to do it straight away. I'm going to have to wait and, see what happens. But it's just, I'm at the point now where it's like, I can't afford to carry on set building. I can afford to finish older sets that I've got on the go, but with the heat and the hype and the size of the market now relative to the amount of product there is, I just can't do it. I've just got to focus on my gal. Or even if it goes the way it's going to go, I might even have to venture for a little while and just draw a line.
Oh,
which I know sounds terrible, and I hate doing it, but I don't know. I just think I'm going to drive myself nuts otherwise.
Yeah, I'm
not sure. I'm getting to that. Conflicted.
No, I'm there with you. I'm kind of in the same arena, same boat type of situation here on my end. Like I'm actually have my office a mess right now because I was going through server cards. But I was just talking to a guy who Justin introduced me to, who is a insane level collector of Marvel cards for BG and grades everything BGS. Oh, okay. He's been doing it for years and years and years, but kind of just been a black hole collector and just picking cards up. And he's very more focused on getting like high-end grades, and he wants to do all of his sets in 9.5s. And there's a lot of these guys out there. He's the one that probably has the most in terms of like getting there. You know what I mean? He's definitely the closest, I'm assuming, from who I know. Anyway, very nice guy, but also Wolverine collector. Remember that Flickr account?
I think you mentioned this before.
Yes. Yeah. So I found this Flickr account through a friend. I don't even know the story. I think Kevin helped me out with that. A different Kevin than we know. Good guy. Hit me up, and he's actually friends with the guy. He's like, you have to see this stuff. It's insane. I know you're a character collector. And I found it and with him, and we looked at the cards, and it was impressive. I mean, it's impressive. The not only, it's not the grades that like impress me so much, because grades are grades, and they are very difficult to get. And I'm sure I'll eat those words one day. But what impresses me more is the amount of attention to detail to the Wolverine cards he picked up, because it's very much like you and I with the character collecting, where it's very focused, all the pogs, vending machine stickers, Toy Biz stuff. You know what I mean? And it was funny because he's a black hole collector, but we were talking yesterday on this live that Justin put together, and it was insane because I was telling him things he didn't know about, and he was like, oh man, I had no idea. And he's like writing it down, and then he was telling me things that I didn't know about, so I'm writing stuff down. And it was such a cool thing to see someone who's been so gone from the hobby kind of come back in. And this relates in the sense that this kind of era that we're moving into with cards, you really do have to like I'm, I don't want to bench the surfer, but I guess I'm going to have to be really okay with not being able to have as a large array of a collection as I've been able to accumulate over the years. Not because, I don't know how we've been able to do it. Looking back, like, I guess the audience was just really small, and people felt more, connected to each other. But But it's at this weird stage now where like you and I have found our circles of friends, and I feel okay with like not having to like go obsessively down this road because I just don't want to participate in the price point, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I just don't want to go there. I just don't want to be okay with spending so much on particular cards. Like, like the big threshold for me was the green PMG Silver Surfer. Like I've never spent that much money on a card in my life. Did I? No, never, not even close. I was like, wait a minute, did I? And after that, I started doing the Mandalorian thing and a couple of other surfers. And each one now, instead of it being like a $200, $300 card every like month or something like that, it was like being like $1,000 card every month. And I was like, that's stupid because what ended up happening was that you make that choice to go a little further. And then the cards you want end up being at a higher quality. And then and then you look at those prices like, well, $1,000 is not so bad for that. You can't find it, And I'm like, I do not want to be in that headspace anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's just too stressful. I mean, I don't spend as much, but when I do spend, I'm like, now I'm in this desert walking for years until, I'm building up that fund again.
Desert.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. I mean, I did have my card fund. It's now all gone because I hived off what I needed for my vacation. It's now all gone. So hence partly my decision to sell beginnings, but also I'm sitting there looking at it thinking, I've loved it. I've owned it. I've done that. Do you see what I mean? I'm going to keep. Now, I was thinking about it the other day. I always, you've heard me say, you could probably, if you had $1 for every time I've said this on an episode, you could dine out and bring your family with you. How much I'd love to have a set that was just focused on comic covers reproduced on cards. And I'm kind of thinking, well, why don't I do that rather than, why don't I? So when I part with my beginnings, I'm going to keep that breakthrough covers set that runs through each of them.
Yes.
And I'm going to add my Marvel Covers Series 2 set to it. I'm going to add my lenticular Marvel 80th covers to it. Cool. I might keep some of the covers stuff from Marvel Annual. I'm not less fussed about those because they're more modern and less kind of iconic covers. So, and just have a nice little binder and stop worrying about it being complete. So it's not less of a set if I don't have those Marvel Annual comic covers ones in there. It's just what I've chosen to go for. And just Marvel Universe, and I'm going to stop with the Marvel Universe of the 90s. So I've got some later ones that I'm going to part with. No more X-Men. I've already made that decision. I just haven't sold them yet. That they're all going. Anime's already partially gone. What else have we got here? Yeah, and it's just I just want to condense it down. Right. I'll always keep the Women of Marvel, my Dangerous Divas. They'll stay.
I just think you're right. I think a lot of the stuff that. It's funny because they asked that Wolverine guy, the big collector guy that I was talking to, they asked it, Justin asked him, he was like, hey, my buddy says, me, that Marvel collectors are set collectors. And the guy was like, yeah, 100% we're set collectors.
Have been.
Which is pretty funny. You know what I mean? Because like when I first got into this hobby, you've been in this hobby. I mean, I've been in this hobby long, but you had been like around, you know what I mean? You had been doing stuff with people. You've been kind of in the mix a little more than I have. And so when I got here and started speaking to you and everybody else, I realized very quickly that the reason you didn't get certain cards, the reason character collecting was so difficult was because they were locked into sets. Because it wasn't easy to pull, you had to basically buy the set and you're not selling the full set. You know what I mean? Yeah. Still a lot of like, even when I was helping people kind of accumulate bigger collections and more high profile collections or whatever, the biggest issue for them was I was like, they're not going to sell unless you buy the full set and you have to buy that at a premium because that's the deal. You know what I mean? And they did, a lot of people did because that was the only way to like obtain certain, high profile cards, and they end up falling in love with the cards. So it was a beautiful kind of like cycles type of situation. But I do think that the group needs to become more of a place where it's like less of a completionist kind of atmosphere and more of a creative, unique collection situation. I mean, those are the people we've had on the show that always interests me is how people decide to like for me with the surfer, like I'm not going to be able to there's no such thing as completing a character collection. I think I have to be okay with saying that out loud.
Mine will never be complete. I'll never get any of the plates from Masterpiece 16, for example. I'll never get the gold 1 of 1 PMG from Fleer or Spider-Man 17, because the price, if it did come back onto market, the price would be, it gets to a price when it's no longer a hobby, it's a life decision.
That's a good distinction. I like that.
And it's like, okay, if I buy that, I would seriously I'd be taking out a loan. I'd be selling a kidney, selling a family member, that kind of thing.
That's who we have to have in the group. But we're worried about having car collectors, but we need someone who sells vital organs.
We need organ dealers, organ donor dealers.
Dealers.
Yeah.
Organ dealers.
Have you seen that film? It's based on a book. It's got Andrew Garfield in it, Keira Knightley, Kerry Mulligan, and it's about these people that are bred or cloned specifically to be organ harvested. Have you seen that film? It's about 10 years old.
No, I know the film Repo Man.
No. This is very much a character one.
I don't know that one.
No, it's a hard watch because some of the characters disappear for a bit, then they come back again. Kieran, Never Let Me Go, and it was made in 2010. It's called Never Let Me Go. Yeah, it's a British dystopian romantic tragedy film based on Kazuo Ishiguro's 2005 novel Never Let Me Go. And
I want to watch that.
Yeah, it's a pretty full-on watch. It's let me see if I can find a very quick summary of it, because Wikipedia's summary is just like 5. It's not the elevator pitch. Wikipedia's summary.
It's not the elevator.
But I can't. This is one hell of a tangent we've gone on.
I love it.
Here we go. The lives of 3 friends from their early school days into young adulthood, when the reality of the world they live in comes knocking. Spoilers that they're harvested for organs. Come on. But yeah.
Somebody would make it.
It's pretty full on. If you want, as if we need any reminding of how good Andrew Garfield is as an actor, you just watch something like that. I know.
He's always been good.
It was in that era when Carey Mulligan was in every film that came out.
Oh yeah.
She was in Drive. She was in.
That's right. She was in Drive. I forgot about that.
To the point where
I don't like Drive.
I love Drive. It's a brilliant film. I absolutely love it.
I can't get into it.
Me and my wife, we dig it. We dig it loads. We've watched it quite a few times, actually. It's one of the ones, it's like the Bourne films. It's one of the ones that always comes on. It's anyway, that's one hell of a tangent. We're not about to start selling organs to afford carts, folks, nor do we endorse that in any way, shape, size, or form. We need to be clear
let's not put it totally out of the arena.
Well, no. We need to be clear on that for legal reasons, quite frankly, because if someone dishes out an organ and then something goes wrong and they say, "Whoa, Car Collectors Podcast, put us up to it," then
if they say that, I am willing to go to court.
Yeah, but I've done the disclaimer, so it's done. We do not recommend this. We do not recommend that you do it. However, if you choose to, you're stupid.
Keep us out of it.
But that's why. Going back to it, that's why we'll never have a complete set, character set. We'll have a really good character set.
Also, it's not only character set. It's not only the afford thing,
but it goes into the completionist thing, because completionist doesn't necessarily also talk about set builds. Yep. It's about that having a complete character collection build. I mean, it's like there are some character collectors out there, and I'm not going to mention the characters or names, but there are some character collectors out there who don't have that perspective, who I've seen on PM get really irrational and really upset when something that's a unique item doesn't go their way. Now, of course, we all feel that kind of feeling of like, motherfucker, I didn't get that item. But you've kind of got to be able to put that aside, because otherwise it's not healthy for you. Nothing's that important at the end of the day.
No, it's really not. And
I've seen some people without that perspective, and I think it's a little bit, you've got to be careful with this stuff. It's just cards at the end of the day. It's fun.
It's really tough. It's really, really tough. Luckily, I've never gone down that road. I've come close on certain things, only because it was more like I sacrificed the card to help other people. And, this has happened on and off here type of stuff, just to see it, beat price gouged and all that stuff. So that's always a pain. Obviously,
I'll tell you a story.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I do think you're 100% right. This is something that I've had to come to terms with, which is really tough to do because you do get very close. You know what I mean? Like you do get very close. You do have a collection that has quite a bit of things in there. And you are like, well, this did have an example. I a long time ago, I think I shared it with you. It was kind of an unrealistic checklist, even though I'm close, but it's still unrealistic.
Yes. No, it's a brilliant checklist. I love it.
It's a great little checklist. I'll probably post it somewhere just to share. But, what can be done for like 3 different levels of character collectors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what's possible for like one level.
Send me a picture.
Yeah. Well, I'll do up something nice and we can have it together. But, I just thought it was a good little manifesto of like little checklist things for different types of character collectors. And we originally did those cards for the group that had, those completionist stamps and stuff like that, which eventually would be fun to make. But yeah, I agree with you. I think you have to be okay with not being able to have it all. And I think, in some way, the Mandalorian collection kind of helped me think through that. Uber focused.
You were in a position where you had to make that decision fast because it was the kind of product that was being released at its peak of popularity. Yes. And you had to choose very quickly what route you were going to take on that. And I think your instincts and the way you did it was spot on with that. I think that's a good process to go through. I think I had that moment for me was with Black Diamond, which I'll come back onto in a moment.
Yes.
In many ways, as a collector, Black Diamond kind of changed me. And I'll talk again. That's something I'm about to talk about. So, but yeah, you've got to be okay with not having it all. And the other thing about having a character collection, I guess this is true of other collections as well, but more so as a character collection, is that it doesn't matter if the high value card in there is only a $50 card. Your collection as a character collector is more than the sum of its parts.
100%.
If you can't think about it in those terms, you're going to have trouble. In my view,
yes,
you're going to have trouble being pragmatic about what's not achievable. Yes, it's annoying that someone else goes after the character that I go after and has some plates. Yes, would I like that person to suddenly decide they're not going to go after her? Yes, do I really silly and really jovially think that person's just a pretender and I'm the OG? That's bollocks at the end of the day. There's nothing that says. There's 100%. Nothing that says one character collector's better than another. That's just being silly at the end of the day. And no one has the right to any one particular character, and that's the other thing as well.
No.
So I sometimes see that. I sometimes see people squabble over that, and I'm like, what? It's really silly. But you've just got to be big enough to let it go. We've both got enviable pieces that, whether the people are character collectors or not, they'd be happy to own if they were in our shoes. So, you've got.
But I always like to do, because I do feel like that sometimes, because it's human nature, and you're like, oh man, I wish I could just grab this piece or this piece and be done and all this stuff. And that's just the collector kind of mentality. But what I always do that kind of helps me out is I make sure not to look at my collection for like a month when I'm feeling that way. Kind of go cold.
Yeah.
Because then when I come back to it and I'm like, let me pick 3 pieces that I could never live without. And I put them in front of me. I put them on my desk while I'm working or something like that. And it's just, I look at them and I'm like, yeah, man, that took a lot to get. That was awesome. I'm so happy to have it. And I forget about all the other stuff I have. And I look at those 3 pieces and I'm like, I'm happy with that.
Nice.
And that does give me that perspective, because being a collector, and I hope I'm not being too melodramatic, obviously it's just cards and all that stuff. But, I think when you're a collector and you have this mentality like Ian and I, and then everybody in our group and friends and everybody else, you kind of get, like Ian's saying, you get hung up on things, and it's I don't know how many times you guys have done this where you get something in the mail and then you're immediately on eBay looking for more stuff, right? It's this horrible vicious cycle.
All the time. Yeah.
You wait for this thing you're so excited about, you get it in the mail, and then you're back on eBay. And it's kind of like,
store it away. What's next?
Exactly. It's
enjoy what we've got. Make a moment to do so. I mean,
you have to do that.
I had a really nice. I don't get much time to sit down and sort my cards, but when I do, I really enjoy it. I just take those little moments. I had an hour yesterday when my daughter was at soccer. And I came back here and I just started putting some of my relic cards. So I've got
I love those.
In top loaders, because I've got those pages where you get 6, I think, and they hold top loaders up to a certain thickness. They're used for photos. They're not actually for cards at all.
I love it.
But I got some of those, and I started filing them away, and I've started to do them in order of the movies. So, so I just spent some time yesterday doing it, and it was just really lovely. And you just get to enjoy them. So I've got Iron Man, first Iron Man, then I've got Thor, because I've got most of the relics from that set now. Then I've got Iron Man 2. Oh, did I show you? I managed to get Fury's. I managed to get the Nick Fury.
No, you did not.
Iron Man 2.
Wow.
That's Iron Man 2, and that is actually having been worn. So Iron Man 2 was one of the last sets where they, and it's Nick Fury's jacket. Now, Samuel L. Jackson relic cards are few and far between. I don't think there's that many.
I think this is the first one I've seen.
Yeah. I think this is only. I think there might be some in Avengers or Avengers: Age of Ultron. That's pretty much it. Possibly Winter Soldier, but yeah, I saw it in a lot, along with a Frank Grillo Crossbones auto card. I could PC. I could so PC Frank Grillo stuff. Let me find this auto card.
Crossbones, man. I love that.
Yeah, because he's
such a cool character.
He's such a good actor as well.
Yeah, he is a great actor. Actually, that's a great card. That's a good
nice little card.
Too.
Civil War, and it says sticker one. What else did I get recently? I'm just going to show and tell now because,
why not?
Frankly, after William Hurt passed away, I've been meaning to go after this for a while. I got his costume card from Incredible Hulk, and this is a Rittenhouse one, so it's on screen.
Wow. Oh, I love Rittenhouse.
Yeah. I've got
such a good job.
I was right. Avengers Assemble. Or as it's called, the first Avengers movie is called Avengers Assemble in the UK because there's already a TV series called The Avengers.
Right, yeah. So I saw the horrible movie they made with Uma Thurman.
There's a Samuel L. Jackson from the Avengers movie.
Wow.
With Geo
with Cap.
And that is part of the production, so it's not guaranteed on screen worn. What else we got here? This is a screen worn Civil War. Yeah, certified as having been worn by Elizabeth Olsen and Sebastian Stan. So that piece of material has been on Elizabeth Olsen's body.
Jesus, can't take you anywhere.
You can't take me anywhere except to dinner with Elizabeth Olsen. Anyway, but I had that moment where I was putting it away and I was just enjoying them for what they were.
Yeah,
and I'm just enjoying the chase of those. And for me, they just have that. I don't know. I'm now moving to a position. Even though I've said, I'm only keeping certain sets, and then reeled off a list of sets as long as your arm. But at least I know that's a finite thing now.
Yes.
You see what I mean? I've kind of got the edges of the jigsaw, and the rest of it is just enjoyable. So for Black Diamond, this is the most I've ever spent on a card. 600. It's that Chris Evans,
beautiful
patch also 11 out of 25, and that's the most I'll probably ever spend on a card. But Black Diamond, as you know, I focused on it, and I focused on the diamond shards.
Yes.
First, so I got those, and then I foolishly I was like, you know what, I'm going to go for the auto. So I went for the Triskelion ones, and I went for the polished patch ones, and I've almost got all the ones that I can realistically afford. Okay, so I'm happy with that. But I'm glad I did that, because if I tried to chase more from Black Diamond at the time it came out, I would have completed less and walked away with partial bits of pieces, which would have been nice. But again, I don't think at that point I was in the headspace of being mature enough to say, doesn't matter if I've got everything. I'm kind of there now,
Yeah.
But do you remember these from Avengers Endgame? The black exquisite.
Yes. So I just saw someone sign their Robert Downey Jr.
Now, aren't they beautiful?
Wow.
I mean, they're black exquisite. So Avengers Endgame did these, and they were EPAC achievements. So they're not numbered, but they are stunning.
I was so close to collecting those.
Yeah, there's only 3 of them.
So close.
There's only 3 of them, and there are auto versions, but I think there's only about 5 of each, and they were the achievement ones. And they're
something stupid, yeah.
First one's got Shuri. The second one has got Thanos.
It's a great Thanos too.
It's good. So good. Blade. So good. And the third one's got Downey Jr.
Yeah, baby. That's the one. I just saw someone sign it.
One. Yeah, that was the difficult one. That was the one you had to get, I think, the tier 3, because it was tiers of base cards. To get
stunning looking card.
And they are beautiful. And I was looking at them and I was thinking, you know what? I've been umming and ahhing over it. I remember at the time with Black Diamond thinking, well, I could really go for an exquisite set. And I wasn't sure about the base cards, and I'm still not entirely sure about the base cards. But I'm gonna basically just contradict myself in a moment. So I'm just giving you a heads up. And I was always umming and ahhing about the exquisite set, and I remember at the time I decided not to because I thought there's no way I can complete it, which was just like that weird logic, that weird headspace. Yeah, you've always got that struggle if you've been collecting cards. You know, you've got to kind of move past that. You know, will I be able to complete it? And you've got to get to a point where it's like, well, either this set is too difficult to complete, so I won't bother, or you've got to get into the headspace of I'm just going to get what I can achieve and then walk away and be happy with what I've got. And with Black Diamond, I'm just absolutely trying to do that. So fast forward almost a year on from Black Diamond, I've decided, rather late in the game, but it was Grant Sandground and our conversation last week that did this. That
solidified it.
Yeah, it solidified it. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go back and I'm just going to see what I can pick up from Black Diamond on the exquisite or the base side of things. Just because, cool. Especially with the exquisite, I think they look gorgeous.
They do look gorgeous.
And so what I've done is, first of all, I've scared myself and looking at how much some people are asking for them. I'm not saying that everyone is actually paying them. Some of the asking prices aren't being realised, but the market certainly has gone up on them. You know, and there is
ridiculously
nature of them. So what I've done is I've decided to put together what I regard as a mutt set, which is basically
a mutt set.
Yeah, which is basically like I'm never going to complete the set because I'm never going to be able to afford a Spidey Exquisite. Okay. Or rather, I'm never going to be willing to pay how much people want for a Spidey Exquisite.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the crux of that. But you know, just to have those cards, and actually, I'm not going to be binding them because of what they are. I'm going to actually have them in one touch, and I'm going to display them, and I'm going to want to look at them and do that. You know, which is a real step on.
That's a great idea.
And so I'm thinking, you know, it doesn't matter if it's just like the lower end characters. You know, it doesn't matter if it's a Yellow Jacket. It doesn't matter if it's Korg. It doesn't matter if it's, you know, Goose the Cat is A-list as far as I'm concerned. There's an underrated character. But, and I almost tried to go Rainbow.
I know.
Well, I did consider it. I'm glad I didn't. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And I didn't. I'm still. When I started doing this a mere 72 hours ago, I didn't really know what the colours meant with the exquisites. Now I do. Because I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter if it's a mix of colours. Doesn't matter if it's this. Doesn't matter if it's that. Have you seen what I've been picking up?
No.
Have you seen? I'm going to share screen with you. I have
not seen.
I'm going to share screen with you. So we are going to share away.
Do it.
So far. So eBay this morning.
Wow.
Nick Fury Exquisite.
Damn, that looks good.
It does look good, doesn't it? And this is UK, so it'll be in hand by midweek.
Oh, that's nice.
Yellow Jacket.
I thought Yellow Jacket's costume was awesome.
Cool. Yellow Jacket's cool. My daughter, that's going to be the first Marvel movie I watch with my daughter, I've decided. But
I love it, man.
And
it's my favorite. Wow.
Maria Hill, who basically her special power is she beats them to death with the iPad she's holding. And
breaks my heart too, because Maria Hill can be a really cool character too. But I haven't done anything with her.
And Renner.
Nice.
With his but don't know. I mean, I can't wait to get them in hand because I know they're going to just look exquisite, to pardon the pun. There's those.
They look so good, regardless. I mean, and they're so nice.
I've inadvertently already got a rainbow going on.
What? Already?
So I've also picked up the exquisite and number to 149, I think. Or 125. Anyway, there's a fair number of the regular exquisite, and it's only a 50 card set. And the reason I hadn't decided to go for it at the beginning was because card number 1, Anthony Hopkins, never got released. So you're never going to have a full set. And it's a ridiculous switch that went off in my head. I was like, I'm not going to go after that because it's always going to frustrate me. It's like, stop being an idiot. Stop getting in your own way and enjoying some of the set. So even if I don't get any more than the ones I'm showing you here, and I'll put these on the tasting notes, I will have some really nice cards that I can just enjoy for what they are.
Yes.
And that's why I've decided to go for it in this way, So I've got, I think that's the red or the orange exquisite, and they're numbered to just 23.
Wow. That's highly specific.
All the color exquisites are just 23 cards.
Wow.
Of each character. And look, there's a General Ross, William Hurt. So already I've got the makings of some rainbows here.
Wow, that's really
William
cool.
Hurt. William Hurt is one of those actors. Has there been like someone famous that you've never met, you've got no personal attachment to as a friend or a relation, but because they're such a connection to you in the work that they've done or how their work has informed your life that you were actually genuinely upset when they passed away?
Yeah.
Nimoy was like that for me, Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah, I know.
He passed away. I properly had a moment. I had a little cry. Soft bastard that I am. Robin Williams.
Understandable.
Robin Williams was like that for a lot of people. Actually.
Robin Williams, yeah, that one hurt.
Robin Williams was. It was that line from Star Wars. There was 1,000 voices crying in anguish, and then suddenly silence. But it was like that with Robin Williams because social media just went, "Oh my goodness." Chadwick Boseman, less so for me because I didn't have that personal attachment, but for a lot of people, culturally and racially, and just what it represented. Chadwick Boseman
was a big deal.
Was a wrench for a lot of people. Yeah,
I mean, like that movie had done so much for cinema and his performance and his ability to carry. And he's such a brilliant actor too.
Yeah.
So devastating.
But William Hurt was like that for me last week. Or a couple of weeks back when he passed away. I was like, oh no. So got William Hurt. I've got the Jude Law. And that's a base, and that's a red, actually. Oh, cool. I think, which is number 235, I want to say. I've also inadvertently picked up the regular base on that. Instant Jude Law rainbow. Got the red parallel of Doctor Strange. So that's, and again, the base ones.
Are the reds numbered?
Yeah, they're all numbered. Yeah.
Oh, what's the red number to?
35, I think.
Wow.
It's just so difficult to see on the scans. The reds, this is why I want to get some of these base cards in hand before I make a final call on them, because I might just stop with the exquisite. But then again, I might just enjoy them, having them for what they are. Look, there's Talos, base card.
Oh, nice.
Evangeline Lilly, exquisite.
I love her.
Number 23, I think that's an orange one. That's an orange Heimdall Omega look, 23 or 23.
Wow.
Killmonger,
that's cool.
Look, see already I've got a mini rainbow going on.
You got some stuff coming.
Yeah, but it's just fun, Tilda Swinton. So just fun. And if I stop there, I'll be happy. But here's the thing, this is why I'm telling you this. I posted on group yesterday and that I was, looking for any black diamond, some people go after them hard. Some people have just got some spares from when they broke some boxes, sat in their ePack accounts, and just, if anyone's got any and they're not attached to them and they do want to trade, just to get me started, then please, not after a handout, not after freebie, I'll give you fair value for them, but they don't have to be the top characters because I can't afford the top characters. I'm just putting together this Mongol set, as I said. So a few people commented and, I managed to get some trades done. One of them I purchased, one of them I traded. In both cases, someone on group, and I'm not going to name this individual, someone on group in the midst of me having this conversation saw what was going on in the comments and went to those ePack users and tried to snipe me with trades for those.
That's not. Oh my gosh, for real?
Yeah. I've sent the screenshots to one of the chats we've got because both of them, one of them alerted me to it. I happened to ask the other person. They said, "Yeah, funnily enough, they did."
What's this person's name?
I'll tell you afterwards.
Yo, that is whoever's that.
But
man,
that is really, really, really shady behavior. And
it's that guy. I'm looking now.
Yeah.
It's
anyway,
that idiot.
So this is the world we live in, folks. That people with it's just it's rude, it's dishonorable, it's disrespectful, and it's just ultimately it's just behavior.
What a
so yeah. So and you know what I said, because that person's not broken any rules, perfectly entitled to do it. The people who traded me, fortunately, because we know each other and we have this community and we look out for each other, those people were kind of, decent enough to be like, yeah, we've agreed a deal. I'm not going to pull the rug on you. Just because someone else comes and under offers in one of the cases. it was a bit
wow, of course.
And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to openly go after this person because I'm not like that. I'm not that kind of person. But it's one of those. It's one of those things where I said before that what gets you kind of more and more excluded and more less in the loop in this hobby is how you conduct yourself. That's one of those examples.
That's true. Still upsetting.
Anyway, I wanted to talk about, which is why we did the intro, I wanted to quickly talk about Moon Knight. So if you haven't been watching Moon Knight on Disney Plus, and as we record, there's only been one episode, so we're going to talk about it. If you're waiting for any reason, you might want to stop listening now and consider the episode done, in which case, enjoy collecting, turn it off. Right. So you and me are going to talk about Moon Knight episode 1.
Oh, that's funny as hell.
Dear me. Well, one of these days we'll do an adult version of this podcast. We will say that at the end of each episode. Enjoy collecting and go yourself. Anyway. The beat machine's going to get so much use on this episode.
That's great.
What did you think?
It was awesome. Are you kidding? It was so good, man. It was so good. And it takes place in your neck of the woods. I thought it was great. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was fun. I loved it.
Latest Gators.
So good.
Oh,
so good. I love it when he's talking to the statue and that little moment there. I thought that was really nice. I mean, the costume looks, I didn't think that would look as cool as it did.
You know what I love about it is just crazy. It's that, and I can't even remember how long the episode was, but it felt like it was going on forever because you were going on such a journey.
It was 47 minutes.
But it was engaging as and it felt like an hour and a half. But the whole bit where he was like fading in and out of like awareness of what he'd done, and you saw him like, wasn't that the most incredible? I think that's possibly one of the most incredible sequences, and there have been some incredible ones of any of the Disney Plus MC.
It was really great. Really great.
Or MTU, the Marvel Television Universe, I guess you should call it, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
But it's the budget of a movie, but it's like a 6-hour version of a movie, but just done as a TV show. And I can't wait for the rest of it. I mean, Oscar Isaac is so good in this role.
I thought he was awesome. He made it his own. Like, it's just freaking great. I just think it's great. I really do.
What I most enjoyed was the different physicalities that Oscar Isaac had when he was being Mark Spector and when he was being Stephen Grant. Stephen with a V.
Yes.
With a V.
With a V.
And it's just the entire physical. I think we'll see more of that, but it was noticeable in the mirror, for example, in that washroom scene towards the end.
It really was. I thought that was really cool.
But what else did I like? F. Murray Abraham is the voice of the Egyptian god, whose name I can't remember. Khashoggi? No, Kanongi, cool. Something in with K, but it's him. So if you recognize the voice, you're like, yeah, he was in Scarface, and yes, he was in.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize.
Yeah, and he was Rafu in Star Trek Insurrection, and I missed out on his autograph card from that set on eBay last week, and I'm like, anyway, I really can't wait for episode 2. It's the first Disney Plus one I've watched on the day of release because I was like,
I know. Usually, you have to catch up, or I'm waiting on you. Usually,
yeah. Well, I was just. I just fancied watching it. I know I'd had a pretty bonkers week at work, and I could have done it, and actually because I was working from home, and I could have and should have probably for my health as much as anything else, have gone for a walk after I'd eaten, just to get some cardio in and just to get some exercise. Didn't do that. Went downstairs, sat on the made egg on toast, got a little tray, sat on the sofa. Watched Moon Knight while I was eating my lunch, and then went back upstairs and sat down and carried on working. So zero cardio, but I managed to watch it in my lunch break, and I'm probably going to do the same. I'm probably going to do the same this week. And you know what? Actually, no, I'm not going to do the same this week because it's school holidays and my daughter's going to be around. So bugger. I don't know. So I don't know when I'm going to watch episode 2. So this is why we're talking about it this week. Who knows? Who knows when I watch episode 2 of Moon Knight? But I can't wait. And one thing I found interesting. This occurred to me this morning when I was on the toilet. Funny enough, on the pot.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks for that, Ian, as a mental image for our listeners.
Good stuff.
Is Moon Knight's one of these characters? I'm not aware. Now, I've never really gotten into Moon Knight as a character. I've never really gotten into the comics. I've tried a couple of times, and it just wasn't my cup of tea, which is fine. I think the MCU stuff is different, and it's designed to be more accessible. So you don't have that. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy I never read as a comic, but I love it as an MCU thing. So it's kind of is what it is. I'm not aware that there is kind of an entourage, for want of a better word, around that character. So, for example, if you go Iron Man, there's characters that appear in his comics, like Pepper Potts and things like that. With Black Panther, there's characters that exist in that kind of, there's Black Arena characters and things like that. Yes. I'm not aware of any that are in Mark's, because he kind of is several characters in and of himself, I guess. They're all in one. It's like a Russian doll, It reminds me of the joke, Russian dolls, they're so full of themselves. But you can have that one for free. Am I allowed to say Russian?
That was good. I didn't know that one.
They're sanctioned. But I don't think there are any other characters. There aren't, are there really? I mean, I know he crosses over with loads of characters. I think that's his thing. It's like Deadpool. Yeah. Over loads of characters, but doesn't have a orbiting planets, I guess, of his own. I can't think of any.
I can't think of any either.
And there's no one immediately apparent. There's no sidekick. There's no, it's very much a vigilante type style, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I just thought that was interesting. And people,
I think that's awesome, though. I mean,
been thinking about it, but that's why it's so exciting. But someone like Oscar Isaac, who's so talented, and if you want any proof of how talented Oscar Isaac is, hunt down the HBO series he did with Jessica Chastain last year called "Scenes from a Marriage," which is just phenomenal. Very really much adult material. But did you? Because I recommended it. Have you managed to?
Yeah, I saw it. I've seen it. Yeah.
So you managed to check it out since You watched all 5 episodes since we spoke about it last week.
What episodes? I watched
Scenes from a Marriage.
Oh gosh, I confused it. No, I haven't seen that yet. It's on my list. I thought.
What are you thinking about? I was surprised.
The marriage movie. I know. I messed that up. I completely blanked.
That's all right. No, that's all right. That's all right.
Moved Adam Driver into that arrangement.
Oh, Marriage Story. Marriage Story.
I just completely.
Oh my goodness, Adam Driver performing Sondheim.
I know.
Yeah, it's just like. Oh my goodness me! Don't get me started on Sondheim. Anyway, So Moon Knight. So instant straw poll, and then we've got one more thing, and then I think we should probably bugger off. Your favourite Moon Knight card, and we haven't prepped this, so you've got to pull this one out your ass. While you're thinking about it, I'm going to show you mine.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to show you mine. And I shared it on Moon Knight Day, actually, as Wednesday will forever be known. I shared it. And you've seen this. And we even spoke to the artist. From Masterpieces 2007, although it's not created specifically for that set, because it wasn't original art, but it was original art once. Just wasn't original art created for that set. Some people just won't get over themselves with that. Anyway,
it's
I've
weird.
stopped having arguments.
I think that's very strange. The whole original art argument. I think we're way past.
Not Masterpieces, so unless it's got original art in. Yes, but it was original art once.
It's so dumb too, because then you're having
actually all of the art was created for cards. It just wasn't created.
Exactly.
It wasn't like comic lifts. And I think that's the difference with those, because it's all pretty much versus system stuff. And in fact, 2007 does have some original pieces, because Jusko came back and did some for it. Anyway, Bill Sienkiewicz. That's the one.
Bill Sienkiewicz is the one. I love that card. I was just about to say the same thing.
So beautiful.
Yep.
Honorable mention for Masterpieces 2016 Joe Jusko, which is astonishing. But I would say my second place one is possibly Dave Palumbo from Masterpieces 20.
That's a really quality.
It's one of the nicest paintings in that set, if you ask me.
I think so too. I think it's one of the best.
I think Dave,
hands down,
knocked that
without
one
a doubt
out of the park. It's just something about the character pose. I've just suddenly realised I've thought of one that might give both of these a serious run for their money. So we're going to have an equal first place situation here. Eric Gist.
Oh yeah, see,
his Moon Knight from Flair 2019 is astonishing. Do you remember we were talking about it with him, and just that he was describing the material? If you haven't seen this, guys, go back and listen to the interview, because he's a lovely guy, and I'm hoping in fact, I know we'll get him back on, because
we can get him back on easy. He'll happy to do that.
But his work on Flair 2019 is, for my money, one of the most exciting new artists to come to Marvel cards in the last decade, easily.
100%.
And I say that with a slight eye on what's to come as well.
Yes.
People are going to lose their shit.
They're really going to lose their minds. Oh man, I'm looking for a card now, but I think you might have.
Have I just buried the lead?
I think you got them all. I think you got them all.
There's loads of really good ones. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some amazing ones out there, but in terms of original art, I mean, he's been in most Masterpieces. I didn't see him in Masterpieces 95, and I would have loved to have seen some of the renditions. Not that he's in there, but I don't remember seeing him, because I remember looking through that set. Did Hildebrandt do him? Let me have a quick look. Let me have a look and see if the Hildebrandt brothers did him. Because the beauty about these old sets is that they're alphabetical order, so you can find them.
Yes, which is lovely.
Note to current.
The Moon Knight for Unbound is really good.
Oh, yes. Fred Ian.
That's a good one. Fred did a great job.
Moon Knight is not in Masterpieces 94.
Wow.
With their use of light,
they would have killed it.
To have seen that. Oh, my goodness me.
I like the one from the QFX series, which is original art. That's Joe Quesada.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. He was a Fresno as well, so they did that.
Marvel Ages, yes.
Well, he's in Fleer Ultra Spider-Man too, which is sick.
Oh,
for 2017.
Oh, now that right. Now here's the thing with Fleer Ultra Spider-Man. I'm just going to say it on some of the PMGs, Fleer Ultra Spider-Man.
That's right.
So the base metals and then the PMGs. On some of those, I'm going to be frank with you. On some of them, the art is a really poor choice.
Agreed.
See MJ, Mary Jane on that.
Yeah,
one.
I agree.
Which is astonishing, because the base. Oh, you know what? I'm just flicking through my Fleer Ultra Spider-Man set from 2017, and I haven't looked at Eric Wilkerson's Silk that's in the base set.
Yes,
because the one that everyone shows is the Legacy one. Mm-hmm. Eric Wilkerson's work on that Silk from the base set is astonishing. Sorry, I've gone off on a tangent there. This is what happens when you start flicking through binders. Now, let me find the oldie Moon Knight here. Where is he? Yeah, because the art choice for the metal and then the PMG on that one is actually really cool.
Yeah, the Moon Knight on the PMG is nice. Jusko did a great Moon Knight too.
That's nice.
He did a good one there. But I mean, Geist, man. Geist really captured something special there. I mean, Sienkiewicz is always amazing. Peach Momoko did a Moon Knight too, and
of
it's
course,
stunning.
Yeah,
forgot about her doing that.
Peach,
it's beautiful. Peach. And then Jusko has a 16 and a 92 rendition of Moon Knight.
Yes.
I don't know, like Geist for me. It's up there, man.
It is.
Geist,
I think that could be There we go. There's the Moon Knight from Fleer Ultra Spider-Man. You know what? I should look through this set more often. Fleer Ultra Spider-Man is one of those ones where I feel like I've just looked at the cards digitally. I actually need to take myself off and sit and look through this binder, because I've just laid eyes on that Moon Knight and I've never properly looked at the card, which I feel bad about. I've never properly looked at that card.
It's tough, man. It's tough to have that kind
of... It's a Ray Largo.
You know what I mean?
It's Ray Largo.
It's Ray Largo. That's right. Of course it is.
That's good.
Largo's the man.
Ray does great stuff. Ray's a lovely, lovely fella. After we finish this, I'm going to sit down and just have a quiet little moment with my Fleer Ultra Spider-Man set. And that's not me being rude, ladies and gentlemen, which is unusual for me. Before we go...
Yes. Oh, man.
Do you want to open a pack?
Oh, boy.
Let's open a pack. Pack of the week is back. Doing? Pack of the week is back. Just because I felt like doing it.
Pack of the week.
I'm going to turn my sound on just in case there's... In fact, I don't actually have my sound effects on ePack, so let's just quickly turn those on as well, so that it does actually make noises, because if I do hit anything, I want it to do the noise. It will probably make me really jump when it makes that noise, because I'm not used to it. But we have a pack of Spider-Man Homecoming, which I I kind of went into a little bit, and I'm like, and I had a little bit of buyer's regret afterwards, because I didn't get much that I wanted to get right. I've turned the sound effects on, so let me just one pack. Are you ready, Norrin? So this is Marvel Spider-Man Homecoming. Still available. One of the few Marvel products that is, because they've been selling. This is 8 cards per pack. A fair number of them are digital. Now, I've only got a very small number of cards from this set I need now. So,
wow.
And they're all the tough ones. Anyway, we're going for it. So we have, that's a digital base of Spider-Man's back. We have, that's a digital base. That's a digital base of Liz Allen.
The red herring. Yeah.
And we have a decathlon, which is a comic panel kind of insert.
It's pretty cool.
We have Tom Holland running down a hallway.
Nice.
We have, what is that? That could be a web parallel of some kind. Could be a silver web parallel, actually.
Pretty cool.
It hasn't flashed, so it's not any other color. There's a digital base, Spidey running. That's another digital base. And that's it.
Oh, man.
So no flashy stuff. And we got, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 digital base.
Wow.
Yeah, so you only get 2 physicals per pack. So it's rough at $13.99, actually.
What?
Yes, $13.99. When you do get the red flashes, there's often 2 a pack, though.
Oh, okay.
So it is quite interesting. That's Fight on the Ferry. That's a silver web parallel. And that is the decathlon one. So, yeah, there's my pack of the week. And I will take a quick screenshot of this so that I can put it in the tasty notes.
Tasty notes. I love that.
But yeah, that's it's an okay pack. Yeah, it's not.
It's not terrible.
It's not terrible, but it's $13.99 that I could have spent on something else. But
yeah,
so
that happens.
But anyway, there's my pack of the week. I'm going to screen grab that so I can put it into the tasting notes.
Smart.
And yeah, that's about all I've got to say this week. That was fun. I enjoyed that. We already said enjoy collecting earlier on, but what did Stephen Grant say when he was finishing his phone calls in
Oh god, he said something very different. It was that's right, he put his own spin on it. He said enjoy collecting.
No, he didn't. He said laters, Gators.
He said enjoy collecting.
He did he? Is that one of his other characters that said enjoy collecting?
If you're not paying attention, man, then whatever.
No, that's Mark Spector when he finishes phone calls goes, enjoy collecting.
Enjoy collecting. Good.
Thanks for listening to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast. Visuals and tasting notes for each episode can be found on our Facebook page. You can subscribe and leave us a voicemail via our home on anchor.fm/MCCP. We're also on iTunes, Spotify, and all major podcast platforms. Please take a second to subscribe, like, and review our show wherever you get your podcasts. Our podcast can be found by Googling at the MCC Pod, which will also find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Our Facebook community is at MCCW, Marvel Card Collectors Worldwide, and MMC, Marvel Masterpieces Collectors. The great music we use is called Rocket Power by Kevin MacLeod. Thanks to the collectors, artists, and creators who support the Marvel Cards Fan Collective. We'll see you next time, and remember, it's a small hobby but a fun one. Make mine Marvel and enjoy collecting.
Gators.